Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Southwell Soul. My name is Gladys, for those who don't know me. So thank you for being here. So today, it's my day for my one card draw. I started this a couple of weeks ago, and the intention is to work weekly intensely with the card. That's my project for myself, but it's an invitation to you to join me with that. So what I do in this reading is reflect on the previous week's card, which was this one, the teach card, which is the Hierophant. And then I'll draw one for the following week. And I'll just explain that one. But then my work for the week ahead will be to just work intensely with it, like meditating or just being aware of it, where it shows up in my life, and what the lessons are for me at this point in my life. Likewise with you, that's the invitation with the tarot, really. So let's look at the teach card. So in fact, let me show you the Hierophant. This is the traditional Hierophant card from the Rider-Waite. And as you can see from this card, it's like a priest or the word benefactor, beneficent comes to mind. Someone who bestows their wisdom on someone or their whatever they have. Like when I think about funding organizations, how they give funding to other organizations that are doing work in communities or whatever. And in fact, inherent in that is a kind of power dynamic. Like you can see here, he's pontificating or he's blessing. I mean, he has the power to bless or not these pulpits or what they are called, I don't know. But he's the supreme one or the supreme representative of a supposed supreme being, I guess. And so the high priest or the Hierophant comes with a lot of baggage, really. Well, all the cards have positive sides. I mean, so in fact, I've done this reading before. It's my second take, and somehow the sound didn't work. I don't know why. And we had got as our card for the week ahead the Two of Coins. So we'll see. Perhaps it's not meant to be the card or whatever. I will draw again because the idea is that I draw live the card. But what I had done was share different interpretations of the Pope or the high priest, who's also is the Pope. But the first thing which I hadn't thought about when I drew this card and explained what it was about, the first thing that I should have thought about was this education series that I'm starting, because I had already started the planning. I'd started some discussions last week, Wednesday, when I did the reading. So it's so interesting that should come, because the Pope is about institutions of higher learning, of knowledge, of book knowledge, of it could be schools, universities. It could even represent marriage and those kinds of institutions. They are quite traditional. And, there's a positive and negative to that. There's old history, which is also important. But the flip side of it is the dogma that can be associated with religion, with institutions of higher learning, with those in power, or those who are perceived to have, those who are in power. So here's a different interpretation from this lovely deck that I really love. It's so sweetly done, and it's called the Spirit Animal Tarot. And it's by Dawn Brunker and illustrated by Ola Lyola. I love this deck. It's very sweet. And keeper of sacred tradition. So there's something there, which talks about culture, I suppose. The keeper of, there is also some beauty. There's so much beauty in sacred tradition, like we even as spiritual people on this spiritual quest have been influenced by all of that. But I think that the card is also a reminder for us to question as well. And this is another interpretation of the Hierophant, and you can see that's a yoga instructor. But see how relaxed the yoga instructor is, and almost like a guide to your ascension. But this could be a yoga instructor. It could be anyone you see as a spiritual teacher. you know. And the thing about, so John Hollinsbeck calls this teach. So you can see the teachers there, slightly unconventional, but there's still that power dynamic, and also the path to that ascension, that knowledge, that wisdom, or that knowledge, that information is through the teacher who holds the book of knowledge there. And I guess the other thing that I want to say about the teacher is that the teacher also learns all the time, even as whether we're parents, we are learning from our children all the time. As partners, we learn from our partners. We are learning all the time. And even like for me, doing this process with the tarot, I love the tarot. I've been working with it for so long. I always get something new. And that's how I would like to, that's what I'm trying to do here, is help people use the tarot as a source of personal growth and reflection, because for me, it's powerful in that way. Like with the High Priest, I've never really had a connection with the High Priest, but this has forced me to connect in a different way, you know? So the three things, or four things. One, my education series, the series that I'm starting now. I didn't even think about that when I first drew the card. And almost like, I feel like there's a blessing on that, you know, with all these cards. And that's so nice. But also, I guess there's also a reminder to always look at, not be restricted by the tradition, not because the flip side of tradition can be dogma, right? And staying stuck in our old ways. And that's what we need to keep questioning. It could even be, speak about restrictions within a marriage, you know, and how marriage has been set up, which so much is changing, but has been set up for one partner to be conventional marriage between male and female, I guess, for one partner to be the head and the other one. All that is changing. I mean, it's changed. But imagine if we didn't question that, those things would not change. And so we need to keep questioning and pushing against the restrictions of dogma. Yes, and this other notion of how John Holland puts it as the teacher, but also the teacher is always learning alongside. I think that's an important point. And for me, I feel like even as I do the tarot readings, I'm honing my craft. Likewise, a teacher, a professor who's been teaching for 40 years has so much more wisdom than one who's been doing it for 2. On the flip side, that professor can be stuck in their way, become stuck in their ways, as opposed to a new energy. And although it can be vice versa for sure. And I guess the idea is to learn from the tradition, but always question. I think that's the lesson. And then the other thing that I feel, for me, one of the lessons from the Hierophant was my own mind. A friend of mine recently spoke about, a couple of people were speaking about it. A friend spoke about this critic in his head. And I think that happens with those of us who are writers and constantly writing. We have this critic in our head. And for some of us, it's so much harder because of our upbringing, because of restrictions placed on us, because of whether it's race or class, or, I mean, here in South Africa, race is a big thing. And those restrictions, they're not tangible, but they are there, you know. And another friend speaking about the restrictions related to art, because I'm working on some artwork, and she's supporting me in that. And she was just reminding me of those restrictions that I could impose on myself. But my own experience of it is in my previous reading, pick a card reading last week, where I said something, you know. Last week's reading was just crazy because something happened with my laptop, and it just took, so I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning trying to get this thing done. It just took over 8 hours just to render And that wasn't even uploading to YouTube. And so I didn't get a chance to go back. And had I had a chance to go back, I would have clarified a point that I was trying to make. But I agonized so much about this. What if I misconstrued? What if, you know? And I didn't mean that. And hopefully people understand, until I really thought about the high priest, the Hierophant, and I realized I myself was creating a prison for myself. I was restricting myself. And part of me needs to learn to cut myself some slack and not imagine that people are seeing me are looking for a problem, you know, because those people who know me will know what I meant. They will intuitively know, okay, Gladys might have been struggling, but I get her, you know, because, and that's what I need to remind myself. And so I did, and thankfully I did. I just said, hey, you know what? It's all good. It's all good. So yes, and that's it. Oh, and I also wanted to share one other thing with you. And it's a good thing, because in the previous reading, I thought about it after I had finished this chat in the first take of this video. Something happened to me just before I started my YouTube channel, and I'd been planning it. I was getting ready to do it, and I was waiting for my lovely, my nephew's lovely partner, Miranda, to visit. And as I was waiting for her, I was playing with the tarot. I was just fiddling, and I mentioned her because that visit was, I feel, a sacred visit. She blessed me in ways she doesn't know, because she just did something so beautiful. It was like such a supportive gesture on her part, and I need to tell her that one day. But in any case, and while I was waiting for a visit, I did this, I just did a tarot reading for myself. You know, I did this Celtic cross, like almost absent-mindedly. And I was completely blown away. And I'm going to show you the photo of that. And those of you who know the tarot will know that that is a powerful reading, all major arcana. And I don't know how that happened. I just was so floored. So much so that I've kept it up for myself, because it's my reminder that spirit, or something higher than me, was just telling me I'm on the right path, you know. And those divine things, they happen every now and then. And, you know, the extent of, I don't know, the feeling of being guided, it's powerful. It was powerful. It is powerful. So today I looked at it because I wanted to bring out the Hierophant to show you this very traditional Hierophant. And it reminded me, now every now and then I look and I see where I am. And you will see in the picture I show that I had the Hierophant in reverse in the past position. And so that was my energy I was moving away from. And then I had the Hierophant in the upright. I have the Hierophant in the upright as me. So I'm seeing that as me now. And before, I wasn't doing, well, I was bringing in the energy now of the Hierophant into my being through honoring my tradition, my work with the tarot, my whatever, all the things that have brought me to the self or soul. And I was starting to honor, but I hadn't. And now I'm holding this energy of being the Hierophant. And I'm hoping, well, because I question it all the time, that I do it in a way that does this, honors the sacred traditions, but always questions the dogma, because within the teacher, there's a learner always, right? And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that, because when I looked at that, I thought, oh, wow, I'm now doing what I've been guided to do, and it's this. And I hope to always keep my mind open. And I think that this process of the one card draw is about that, is about working with the cards to keep reminding myself. And even in that, I'm being filled spiritually, you know. So really my invitation is to you as well, and perhaps a reminder to you as well that you are always the teacher and the learner. We all are, you know. And if we keep seeing ourselves that way, can you imagine what impact we have on others, and how much impact, positive impact, we can allow others to have on ourselves? Even negative experiences are our teachers. I need to draw a card, right? And like I say, the card that did come up was the Two of Coins, but perhaps it's not meant to be. And for me, that was going to be about looking at balance. But you never know, perhaps that was a message for me, and perhaps something happened just in me acknowledging that, and it might have given me some balance, you know. You know, and as I do this now, and as I draw this card, I just feel so much gratitude for all of you who are on this journey with me, and who send me messages, and who I've dropped a whole lot of them. You know, like, just honor me, and you do it in so many ways, my friends, and many lovely people in my life. You know. Just draw a card now. I'm just going to keep using the John Holland deck until I'm fed up, I guess, or until I feel like we can move on now and use something new. Oh, okay. Look at that. That's the ego card. That's the card of Leo. We've just come out of Leo season, and we're in Virgo season now. But perhaps there are some lessons, well, for me, about where, and if I think about it, I think about the Two of Coins. This makes me think of, you know, like with the eyes, the Two of Coins does that thing, you know, that infinity, that coming into balance. And this is very much a card of coming into balance. So perhaps I have a bigger lesson, because this is a major arcana, and this talks about ego. And that thing that I told you last about how hard I can be on myself, that's ego stuff, right? But there's other stuff. I'm not saying that's the only thing. And I need to open myself to where I might let ego control me. And that's a tough one, because we all, you know, the ego thing is not a straightforward thing. Just let go of ego. Ego helps us exist, right? And do and be. And it's just about balancing where we are. Maybe like what I'm trying to call it in my mind is negative ego and positive ego. And perhaps I need a lesson in looking at that. But I will share my experiences with you. So just to maybe clarify a little bit more about the strength card. This is the strength card, sorry, as well. I need to say that as well. So the strength card in the traditional tarot shows us how a woman, a kind, gentle woman, the image is about a gentle woman taming a lion. So that's the image. It's like, it's talking about how softness can be so effective to tame hardness. That softness can be so powerful. That's, I think, the big lesson with the strength card is that. And if you see, but it is also about ego. It's about how we engage with our own egos, that we can change ourselves through being gentle on ourselves, by looking within in a gentle way. It doesn't have to be harsh. We don't have to hit ourselves over the head harshly. And, you know, I just want to say something about social media. and how we interact on social media. There's lots of anger easily expressed on social media, you know. So to put ourselves out there is very scary sometimes. And I guess the idea is to always be gentle on ourselves and on others, you know. But let's see what comes up. If you've got the tarot, you can use any tarot deck. I'm just going to look. No, I won't do that. You have the gist, you know, the strength card. It's about strength. It's also about emotional and spiritual strength. The strength card does talk about that. So let's see what the week ahead has in store for us. Okay. Now, I must learn to look at the camera. It's hard because my camera is detached from my laptop because my laptop camera doesn't work. Lots of hijinks in this household. So, yeah, so that's your card for the week ahead. And I hope you'll join me. I'm definitely doing my work. I'm loving it. And hopefully you'll join me. Oh, and by the way, if you have something to share, if you experience the strength card in any way and you feel like you would like to join me here to debrief, really, that's what it is, please let me know. I'd love to have your views and, you know, we can share those together. Okay. Thank you, and I will chat with you again. I'll post the weekly pick a card on the weekend. Lots of love to you, and I'll chat with you again soon. Bye.